Hello, if this is your first time on my channel, I'm Amanda Merbu, and it's a real pleasure for me to have you here, and we're going to talk about he doesn't love me, but he keeps me. He wants to have. When I find myself in that situation where I feel like I can't quite let go, something that doesn't quite happen or isn't quite there, because to a certain extent I feel that this person deep down doesn't want me to leave, wants me to stay, wants me to continue being part of their life. I have to identify, to begin with, first of all, if I'm really with someone who keeps me, or if I want to feel kept. Let me explain. There are people whose modus operandi is, in general, to give crumbs left and right. And this action, evidently, if we have feelings, can lead us to feel kept. Especially if we have had the courage to explain to this person how we feel. I mean, I explain to you just as you mean to me, that I feel that I would like to be together, whatever it is. And that person lets you know that on their part, no, right? Then one interprets that the least is in such a case to respect the other person's pain and say, well, I'm not going to give you crumbs anymore, so you don't believe what isn't true. But these people who have the modus operandi of giving crumbs are not exactly the people who have the most scruples or who spend more time reflecting on the impact their behavior has on others, right? Nor about how it will affect their feelings. So if I have been involved with a person like that, during the time that this connection or what we had lasted, I have probably started to distort what I expect from a partner. I might have had certain standards, maybe I've had partners before, I know. What to expect from someone when you are reciprocated, when someone likes you, when you have feelings. But over the time that I have decided I want to stay, despite not feeling that way, little by little, do I start to lose sight of what I really want and to give a lot of value to things that aren't really that important. And this is normal, right? So those crumbs basically for me are not crumbs. For me, they are signs of affection. They are signs of care. They are signals that this person gives me that yes, they like me, that yes, they care. And if on top of that, I have opened my heart and explained to this person what I feel, if from there they don't change and stop giving me those crumbs, it's normal that I feel held back. But really, even though I feel this way, this person is not actually holding me back. What holds me back more is my desire to interpret, my desire to see beyond, because it's normal. Moreover, you receive a message from your mother or a friend or someone, and it doesn't provoke the emotion of them asking you, how is this person doing? That is to say, always, anything that comes from the person who sparks our interest is going to carry more weight. And if on top of that, we are already emotionally affected, we are vulnerable, we are hurt by the situation, we might feel like we've put a full stop, right? I mean, that thing of having opened my heart, you say, no, I leave, and now you give me a crumb, so I gave it weight, I gave it a nuance of, oh my, it's a sign that they don't want us to end this. Being, they are feeling me distant, and here I am, and so on. And then we give it a lot of value. But in the end, if this were to say, if we could litigate love, take it to court and say, hey, this person emotionally owes me something, owes me emotional compensation for what they've done to me, let's say that before a jury it wouldn't hold. No, it's that even though I opened my heart to them, they kept liking my posts, kept viewing my statuses. Did they ever comment on anything? Did I receive any message? It's very vain. It's very vain. I mean, yes, someone with scruples shouldn't do it, but we really couldn't consider that this person is deliberately baiting you so that you don't leave. It's evident, of course, that in some way continuing to give you looks is because they prefer you to be there. That is to say, if they want to keep feeding off your attention, but in a way, very selfishly and without really doing it, because they have no intention of this leading to more. Now then, there are people who really do hold us back. Who are those people? Well, they are those people who don't quite give us what we want, but the moment they see that we are no longer going to accept less, they make an effort. About the people who really put in the effort, who do come through with actions. Is it that thing you ask them 1,000 times, like, oh, please, I would like you to be more affectionate, more attentive, to have more time for me? I would love that. Suddenly, when they notice that you are getting fed up, that's when they are more attentive. No more of that, not responding to you. In 2 days, it's over. I respond to you every 2 hours. I ask how you are. I'm on top of things. Or even I offer to have a conversation in which I let you know how important you are. To me, the significant role you have in my life, that of course I feel that for me you really do. I mean, here we really dive in and talk about feelings. I let you know that you are special, that you are this and that, but I can't give you what I want. And here we find a range of circumstances, from the person who might be married and doesn't want to leave their relationship to the person who might tell you that at this moment in their life they don't have time to commit to a relationship, or is the type of person who doesn't believe in monogamy, who needs to meet a lot of people. There's also the person who sells you this as, look, I am a person who needs to meet a lot of people, be very sure, because the day I commit, it's forever, but I'm not one to commit easily. That is to say, here we enter into 100,000 murky areas where the person has time. And this wanting time can be either because you are often not the only person in the picture, that is to say, there is with you, but is also with other people. So they don't want to offer commitment to anyone because they can't show this to the public. There are certain behaviors they can't exhibit, or as I say, the person who is already committed, but they like having you there, or even the person who actually, they have feelings and their selfishness prevails, knowing that even though you are having a hard time with the situation, giving you up would make them feel bad. But taking the necessary steps to ensure you are well would also make them feel bad. Whatever you want, no, let's leave this as it is. Because as it is now, it doesn't hurt me. That is to say, this is a person who prioritizes their own well-being, their feeling of not having to suffer, over the fact that you might suffer. Both situations are complicated, but obviously the one where they are truly holding us back and trying to prevent us from moving forward is even more complicated. It is very, very, very difficult to know that someone is making you understand that they do reciprocate, but not to the same extent, and that they ask you for patience, and that they ask you to understand their circumstances. It is very difficult not to reach the realization. To what extent is this selfish? To what extent does it take precedence? And to what extent does this force us to put ourselves aside? So I would tell you that one of the first things you have to do when you're in this situation is to consider, how long have I been here? What have I given up? Probably during all this time, because any situation has, beyond the immediate cost, the cost of lost opportunity, all that time you are there, that you could have recovered. Meanwhile, perhaps having met someone who, yes, sees it clearly, who, yes, can offer you what you want, and we lose sight of it. And then, if you want to be able to give this person an ultimatum, because I would tell you, obviously, to tell you, I would say, take and leave. What are you doing with someone so selfish? Don't put yourself on hold any longer. But since I know that obviously it's not easy and it's very tough, I think you need a plan of attack. So, practically speaking, I have found that it works better. That you talk to this person and let them know, look, I'm no longer willing to do this until the end of days, that is. And this is in the case, of being committed, of being held back, In the case we mentioned at the beginning that even though you feel this way, it's normal to feel this way. We couldn't truly prove that this person is holding you back or blame them for it. That's right. I truly urge you to have enough courage to understand that you shouldn't give more time. And leave, moreover, if possible, silently, without giving explanations. That person knows why you are leaving. You've probably already talked, or they have already given you enough reasons so that you don't have to justify yourself. So in that case, we have to have the courage. The moment you feel ready, Prepare yourself mentally and say, I deserve something better in this. But in the case where, yes, this person is willing, tries to keep you from leaving, starts talking about feelings, offers you hopes for the future, then yes, talk to the person and make it very clear. Look, I am no longer willing, so I am going to give you this time frame. You decide. I wouldn't give a very long time frame, Maybe tell them I am willing to give you, I don't know, 1 more month to analyze your situation, to see how we are. But after this, I am going to leave this be. And there's nothing you can tell me that will convince me otherwise. And during that time, that person will take it into account. And it's possible they will try harder. But the key is that you don't let your feelings dissipate and start believing you need to put yourself on hold again. It's very important that during that prior time, you use it as a countdown period to say, I need to prepare myself mentally. That is to say, allow yourself to start experiencing the grief, knowing that you are going to close this chapter. Probably that this person will not agree to what you want, that they will try to slip away again, that they will come up with excuses, that they will go around in circles, that they will find a but, a why, and to buy more time for that. You have to come to terms with the idea that it's a no, and you need to use this time to start emotionally distancing yourself internally, so that when the moment comes, you are truly prepared to do it, and also so that it won't be as hard for you. And during that time leading up to it, when you stand your ground, also let that person notice how you have cooled off. That is to say, it's not about me. I go through the grieving process or start preparing myself mentally, but with this person, I'm fine. No. Be colder, be more distant. Allow them to experience that feeling of you slipping through their fingers. Because it's somewhat similar to the feeling you've been forced to face and live with constantly. With that torturous feeling of having something slipping away. Something I can't hold on to. I have something that in the end, I always feel is slipping away, that is leaving me, and no matter what I do, I can't stop it. Well, it's very fitting. People sometimes don't learn until they get a taste of their own medicine. And that's why I'm telling you that when you confront this person and say, look, that's it. I can't waste any more time. I have to look out for myself. I'm not talking about feelings. It's not even about pretending, like making them believe I no longer feel. No, it's simply that I've understood that I can't dedicate more time to this. I'm still giving you this time to think about it. But if you still can't see it, of course, if it's so hard for you to know what you want and you feel that I'm still a stranger to you and you like your life more, okay. And during that time, I say, cut it off, cut it off. Create small spaces. Don't be so affectionate. Let them feel how you're fading away. And try to truly fade away, but let them experience the fading. Because this will finally make it clear, as I say, sometimes we don't understand that there are people who are very selfish, meaning it's not always that this person truly doesn't feel. It's that, as I say, it's ultimately saying, it hurts me less for you to have a hard time than for me to have to go through it. Or people who are just very bold, but in case the person lacks a bit of empathy. This allows them to put themselves in your shoes, to understand a little. Why is this situation so painful for you? And how little they like it when they have to experience it themselves. Okay? So, as I say, I repeat, the best thing is when we feel that the other person cannot reciprocate, does not want to reciprocate, as I always tell you, look out for yourself. No one gives you back your time. But as I know, I'm not telling you that this is the best alternative. Better. But I do know in practice that sometimes it just can't be done. You try, and in the end, that person comes along, telling us what we want to hear. They paint us a picture again, and they reel us back in. So I think this is more effective, because at least you have a plan of attack. I also tell you there are 2 ways to do this. There are those who communicate it, and those who prefer not to communicate it. Those who, let's say, self-commit, but the commitment has to be serious. And in that prior time, well, what they do is this. They start cooling off, distancing themselves with the idea of, What happens is that I know in practice, since I haven't communicated it, I don't take the commitment seriously. When I start cooling off, the person makes efforts. I forget that I believe for the 39th and 5th time, and I say, well, it doesn't matter that the other 300 times it wasn't. This time, I have the feeling that yes, they are getting involved, that yes, they are changing, that yes, they love me. Why does this happen? So that's why the nuance of communicating to the other person, to also force us to take this more seriously. That is to say, I still don't have the guts to tell you that this is it. But at least I have the guts to tell you that this is it if the peace center doesn't react. That's where that comes from. But truly, if not, if you feel that you can, that even today you can't, but that you can start preparing yourself mentally and cooling off without letting yourself be swept away by that moment when they come looking for you, well, that's also an option. And once that interval has passed, knowing that the person probably won't make a decision at that moment. And truly, you shouldn't settle again for an excuse for just a little more. Don't prolong the time. Don't prolong the time. In fact, if you've done this well and have been cooling off a bit at that moment, it's not enough to just move on to being completely absent and seeming like you're dying of pain at home. At that moment, even if you're dying of pain, the right thing to do, and I tell you this based on how it is in practice, is to be very brave. That's why I hope you've done well in the first part of preparing yourself mentally and program yourself to say, I'm going to live. I'm going to make up for the lost time I gave to this person in a situation that didn't lead me anywhere, where they always made me believe it would lead us. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to show it to the world. I'm going to post updates. I'm going to take a trip. If I can, if I have the means, I'm going to travel. I'm going to go out. I'm going to meet up with any human being who wants to meet with me, to have a drink, to chat. I'm not necessarily talking about romantic plans, but if you could have dates, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. You have to make this person see that the time of putting you on hold is over, that the extra time is also over, that you've already told them, hey, look, I'm not going to give you more time, and show them that indeed you are not giving them more time. And if you are very upset, and you have a broken heart, which you will, do it, do it. If later you have to get home or in the middle of your plans, you have to stop and you have to cry. Cry. And if you have to feel bad, you feel it. But live. Live, because this is very important at that moment. For yourself. To give yourself the message of I want to reclaim my time. And also for that person. Let them see that this is serious, that this is not a bluff, that this is not like other times, that maybe you have distanced yourself and have been suffering until this person has said the classic words that they know, convince you. And then you've returned and it's noticeable on your face that you're happy because you need him or her. No, no, no. I want this time for this person to see, wow, going full speed, come on, going full speed. They've hit the turbo and the turbo is heading in the direction of I want to get over it. That's what you have to do. Because that's what's going to make this person, if they need to reconsider things, reconsider them. And that's what's going to make them, if they truly don't want to lose you, say, I need to hurry because this person is slipping away from me. Because already they've given me too much time. And obviously zero contact. That is to say, this person contacts you. How are you? What? I don't know what. I ignore you. You already know how I am. We've already talked about what we needed to talk about. You already know what I want. You know what's up. Don't bother me. How am I? I don't know. Look at my social media. I'm not going to tell you anything, and you have to be firm. In these cases, it's very important. Well, in general, always, but well, you understand me. Really, zero contact. I will only speak to you again if I hear what I want to hear. And in these cases, it's, I have regretted this. I realize and want the same thing you gave me. And I want what I know you want. And I am ready to. And if you give me the opportunity to show you, and even so, here in these cases, slowly, because we are dealing with a type of person who has shown us how selfish they can be. That is to say, if in the interim, Between living and being in zero contact, you hold out, you start to feel better, seriously reconsider if you shouldn't move forward. And even if this person comes telling you exactly what you always dreamed of hearing, do not accept the offer. It's really worth considering, but at least don't settle for less. With that, you know what you want. That for sure will be very clear. Well, I hope this video helps you, that you liked it. If so, and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, of course, I invite you to subscribe, hit the bell, because I would love for us to see each other again very soon. And until then, as always, I send you a big kiss.